I do think that like people wanting to work in entertainment have a wrong conception of what it actually means. It's a hard road for anybody that wants to make it, and the sacrifices along the way that you need to make to really get to the top are sometimes far outweighing the benefits. And if you're not one of the fortunate few that actually makes it through a class or has a good career trajectory, you're just going to end up on the sidelines. And that, like, I've seen that over the years, because like the applications at our office are consistently rising year after year. We're now sitting, for example, just on for the last year on almost 4,000 new applications for a position here. Oh shit! And
whoa!
There's such a huge supply for a diminishing demand. Like, what's going to happen with all these people that want to get into entertainment to begin with, and where are they going to end up? And I don't want to be handing out the rejection letters or the pat on the back and be like, oh well, you made your life choices wrong. I just feel like
what a great rejection letter.
This is the INKPULP Podcast.
So, Marko, yes. What are your favorite expositions?
You're trying to get us canceled off of YouTube, you idiot.
Matteo, you just were talking to us about being cool in the first few minutes, so our engagement is better.
Dude, but you guys know the algorithm flags the bullshit of the first few seconds. You guys are nuts.
Oh, if it flags the bullshit,
you're never gonna get views.
Then we're because it's all
bullshit. Are you trying to grow this channel, or are you trying to tank it? I don't understand.
Well, actually, I don't think it's a swear word, right? Or it is.
No, but it's not a swear word, but
it's like, I think YouTube, it's content based.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. We'll survive. Right. We can survive with 0 views. I mean, like, why even do this, right? As long as we get to see each other.
Yeah, 5 less views than we normally do, so it's fine.
That's like about as many books as I sold in my life. So, like, it's a fair deal.
We're consistent.
How are you, man? It's so good to see you.
Well, I'm doing well, thank you. I'm very happy to see my old friends again. Like, I feel like this is now a garden party.
Oh, he's talking to you, Shawn. He said old. So
why? You're not?
Matteo just looks older than me.
I'm a baby, man. I'm a baby.
No,
I know I don't look like one, but I'm a baby. I'm still a baby.
We're three aging potatoes that are still discussing like our failed careers.
That's the whole idea of the show, right there.
I want to know, Shawn, what is what are you the most frustrated about in life? Like, what do you resent the most about, like, your artistic path?
That I have never. 2 things. I haven't found any sort of financial security, and the other thing is, in the path to find financial security, I don't get to create the art I want to create. Like, I had this very naive vision of me when I was younger, making art that I wanted to make and making a living doing so.
But isn't that the flaw that everybody has made in the past? I mean, like, they all enter entertainment because they think it's going to be entertaining, but then it's actually not. It's entertaining to other people.
Yeah, but I feel like, Matteo, you're pretty satisfied now.
To be honest with you, I'm really grateful. I don't want to sound gay or anything, but I'm pretty grateful for it. No, I'm pretty grateful for what I have, and yeah, I'm just I don't know if it's just me. I think it's 2 things. First of all, I'm trying to experience everything as my personal journey, so I just enjoy the process of what happens and take it day by day. And on the other hand, to be honest with you, like, I was always my desire was always to be a comic book artist, and since the day I started, I progressed to where I'm at now. So it's always been a constant progression for me. So I'm really happy. And on the other hand, I realize, as Marco was saying, that it's not just poetry. Like, it's not all roses and flowers. It's a lot of work. A lot of times it's not what you're imagining originally. But still, the fact that I'm able to, stay focused and, still, I don't know how to say it, but still obtain and get the results, even though it's not always pleasant. It's all right. I'm happy about, what I'm able to do,
So you're a successful hippie.
Yeah, basically.
I gotta change my answer. My biggest frustration is my friendship with Matteo. After that answer,
no, but again, it's the fact alone that I managed to endure this thing, despite the fact that a lot of times I just don't want to draw. But anyway, at the end of the day, I managed to finish a page, even though I started in the morning not wanting to do it. I'm already, happy about that, at least,
Dude,
even
and you're so
though
fast as well. Like, what the fuck is up with you? Why are you so fast? Like, what drugs are you taking? I don't understand. Like, you've been posting some stuff on our Discord, and I don't understand. I don't understand the logic behind it. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, we all wonder.
I don't know. It's one of my main characteristics. I don't think, like, technically and in terms of talent, I'm better than a lot of other my colleagues, but one of my strengths is that I'm quick. Like, I can deliver fast, and with a still maintaining a good standard in terms of quality. So Matteo, I always deliver on time, and that's my thing. Yeah,
it's all for the camera. It's all for the camera. But Matteo, I don't think
his girlfriend agrees.
Tell Marco, because that was
the fact that I'm fast. Yeah, really quick. Yeah.
And delivers fast.
Back to the first question.
On the delivering, I don't know, because we've been trying to have the second baby for over the past 2 years, and I can't. So there's something that's not working there. So
maybe you should stop the comic side of things and like focus on the girlfriend side of things.
Matteo,
a little bit more.
Stuff.
You can't impregnate your boyfriend. It's impossible.
Oh, fuck. Okay, now I get it. Okay, now I get it.
Oh, Lord. Okay. I knew this was going to go sideways the moment I signed up.
So how about you, Marco? What's the... to answer the question that you asked us.
Wait. I want to hear Marco's answer, but I want you to tell Marco, because I think what makes your speed even more impressive is that was a goal of yours early on. You focused on being fast.
Well, early on, I focused on quality, but at the same time, it was always my intention to work in the US industry. And I knew that in order to do that, you gotta, now it's not that necessary anymore, but the way the industry worked back then, you had to be able to deliver 20 pages a month. So in my head, I was like, okay, I got to do at least a page a day if I want to survive in this business.
But I guess a lot of that comes down to you just being confident, the competence has built confidence, and then like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and you just get faster and faster because you don't overthink every step of the game anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That for sure is a factor. And I remember even back then when, I'm constantly growing, I hope. So 15 years ago, I wasn't the artist that I am today, but still I would look at my stuff and be able to say, hey, you did a good job, So humble again. And if I look at it now, I'm like, oh shit, I would never accept this from myself. But even back then I was confident enough to say, yeah, it's good enough. I wasn't constantly beating myself up like a lot of artists do. Which I think it's a good thing, as long as it stays confined, as long as you don't think too much of yourself, but you have a good opinion of yourself, Does this make sense?
Oh, it totally makes sense. I'm the complete opposite. I'll just stand in the corner and cry and overthink everything.
So,
well, that's
Marko,
probably why you were never you never ended up being actually just a comic book artist and be more of an illustrator, and maybe I don't know.
think
I'm trying to analyze it as we
There's
speak.
probably much more to it. I think the thing that I resent the most is that I probably never made a real choice in my life whether or not I want to be an artist or an entrepreneur. I really always flip-flop between those two things. And when I'm an artist for too long, I miss the business side of things. And when I'm on the business side of things for too long, I miss the artist side of things. So I'm constantly juggling these two personalities in my head, and nothing ever works out the way it's supposed to. And because no side is really fulfilling. And then you just end up being like this weird, I don't know, so this weird schizophrenic bag of self-doubt that just walks around lonely through the rain.
I'm in tune with these emotions.
Absolutely. I was thinking this as you were saying it in my head. I was like, I guess I have that as well, because now I have a lot of pages to do, and I'm already like there's a part of my brain who can't wait for the next part, which is working on my book, on the business side of my book, how to publish it, who to talk to, and blah, blah, blah. I can't wait for that part, for me organizing all the stuff. Okay, I got to call this guy and see the prices for printing and blah, 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 and try to put order in this great mess. And so I completely understand, and I share the same how
far along are you on the book right now? Like you mentioned it last time to me, but like I don't.
So
I don't
right
know
now I'm working
is.
on another book. The one that I think I mentioned it in our previous episode. I'm working on a thing with Mark Millar and Netflix, which is not my book. So my book, my personal project, is on hold right now. I'll be back on it after mid-August, I would say, or early September. And I'm like, out of 200, I think 195 pages, 200, I'm at 150. So it's the last 50 pages.
Holy shit, that's a lot. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, now that I look back at it, it's a lot. But as I do it, I don't realize it. It's probably and probably because of Black Science. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's a series that I did for Image Comics. I worked on it for 7 years. It was 43 issues, 1,000 pages, and so right now, like, to me, 150 pages, I'm like, it's a year worth of work, probably 9 months, 10 months, and then, it's fine. But
do you guys,
doesn't bother me.
Shawn and Matteo, do you guys ever collaborate on anything? Do you do something together, or is it just a podcast?
Just the podcast for now. But
now there's a thing that we're speaking up. I mean, I can kind of speaking on my book. We're kind of thinking of doing something together for my book. So it's gonna be like Shawn in this case. It's probably gonna be more on the business organizing side of it. In this case, but
creatively, it's something I've thought about. We haven't done, but creatively, like, it would be fun to do something like me, you and Jim jam on something together. Like, even if it's a little anthology. Actually, Marko, we had this idea that we pitched to Spawn, where it was me, Jim, Matteo, and another friend of ours, Ramon Perez. And we were going to do this Spawn, like, one-shot holiday special. And we were going to have, like, we had this big idea where, like, it was 4 different stories. Like, one idea was 4 levels, like Spawn traveling through the levels of hell for some reason. So Jim's level of hell would look like Jim, Matteo's like Matteo, but we would have our stories go into the other stories. So, like, Jim would draw some elements of the background leading into Matteo's story and stuff like that. It sounded really fun. the idea, but I think we're all just got bogged down with what we're currently doing. But I'd love to revisit
I think
that.
that's the problem. That's the problem with all creator-owned projects. They become unsustainable after a while because you still need to make cash. That is
Yeah.
like as
That's
soon as
exactly
the income
the
stops
reason.
coming in.
Yeah, that's exactly the reason why I'm doing this book with Mark. And I mean, not to take away from, I love working with Mark. He's super organized, so the work is so fucking easy working with him. So it's amazing. But, it's also it's paid really well. And at a certain point after working for 2 years on my book, I was like, you know what? I think my, bank account needs some, feeding.
Oh,
or you need a rich mommy to take care of you.
That's what we need.
Fulfill your dreams.
That's what we need. But yeah, your question struck home about the entrepreneur side and the art side, because I've spent the past few years really building the entrepreneur side, like the business side of my life, so that it can sustain me doing my own books. And I'm at this like bottleneck where I'm starting to transition from that, where all those things that were not making me money, now that I'm finishing them and putting them out there, they're going to start generating money, hopefully give me the time to do the book. But it's a frustrating, difficult journey to be on at times.
Oh, of course. I mean, it's heartfelt. Like I completely understand where you're coming from. This has been like the last 30 years of my life in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So in what phase are you right now? Are you entrepreneur or artist during these days?
Well, I don't know. Like I just came back from a very long trip to the US. I spent 2 weeks on the West Coast, traveling LA and San Francisco to pitch a bunch of stuff around. And so I'm just grooving back in. I just got rid of the jet lag last night, finally, because it hit me really bad this time. And so I had the first night of sleep after I got back last night. And today I'm just doing this thing with you. And hopefully from next week, I'm just going to be a lousy old artist again and sit around in my jogging pants and, just get my shit done.
Great timing on flying to the States, especially for Germans.
Oh, my God.
I don't know if you heard the news. Like what's going on with the U.S. borders lately?
I wasn't paying attention. Like, fill me in.
Well, with the new Trump administration, they started being more cautious towards people traveling to the States from foreign countries. And
but is it tourist or business related?
Well, it's. Right now, it's all confused. The thing is that they're questioning more people at customs, and they're stopping a lot of people. Some people are getting detained. Some people are sent back home. So, but right now, the news, as you can easily imagine, are really confused. So somebody says, "Oh, they're putting people in jail." And other people are like, no, it's not. Like, nothing's gonna happen. So
the only place that would happen in would be Canada. In Canada, they always sort me out. Every time I flew to Canada, they thought I was a terrorist. Oh, they turned me on my head. Like literally, they shook me up. They like inspected my luggage, every inch of like my pants, everything I had to undress. I don't know how many times they gave me shit in Canada. Canada really hates me. They spot me from like as soon as I step out of the plane, they already spot me, and there's like a SWAT team of police officers who are surrounding me. Oh, please come with us. You just need to prove yourself.
Shit.
Oh shit!
Well, to be honest with you, like Canada is the only time, the Canadian borders is the only time when I got questioned. Like they looked for me on the internet, asking me, "Is this you?" So you're going to do show. They're verifying everything that I said, which has never happened in the States. In the States, the only thing that happened to me is they checked my luggage once, but I think it was just a random, like I was, it's not because it was me. I just got randomly selected. Sometimes they check on luggage.
But Matteo, what did you try to smuggle? You've got to tell the audience. The audience is craving.
My amazing charm. And my beauty.
And a suitcase full of Parmesan cheese.
Oh my God. What's the next show that you guys are attending?
Actually, we were supposed to be attending Chicago, but I decided to cancel and see what all the fuss is about this people getting sent back home and stuff like that. So I took some time to see what's going on, basically. And I have some
nothing's
plans
gonna happen. Come on.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure nothing's gonna happen. Like I think, in my opinion, 95%, 99%, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But just to make sure, I have another show in Dallas in like a month, or no, at the end of May. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do that show and not Chicago. I'm gonna skip for this time and see.
But are you guys attending New York Comic Con in October?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! Then let's fucking hang out because I'm making a return to New York.
That's awesome, man.
Yes.
That's great news, man.
I haven't been to a comic book con in I think 11 or 12 years. Like it's going to be a complete 180 for me.
Are you going to be sitting in Artist Alley? Are you going to have your business have a booth or anything? Or are you just
I'm going to be with my art dealer Mark Hay from Splatpage Comics.
Oh, okay,
he's
great.
setting
Awesome.
up a table for me. Yeah. So I'm going to be
awesome.
at his booth.
Are you going to be spending any extra days in New York, or just there for sure?
Like, it's so hard for me to foresee the schedule. I don't know what I have to do around October. Like, it might be like that, all waves, like all gates break loose and I have to be here really quickly again, or that I really have some like extra time, or that I need to travel somewhere else afterwards. That is, I can't foresee that. But so I don't know yet. I didn't even make travel arrangements or anything. I just told him that I will come and I'll do my best to be there.
I'm going to start drinking heavily now to get my tolerance up to handle
to the
this.
6 vodkas.
Yes, 6 more vodkas.
Yeah, but we should totally do something together. Like let's plan
definitely.
dinner and
absolutely.
have fun tonight.
Absolutely. Oh, that'll be
so
great.
You might not know this about us yet because you never hang out with us.
You're
but
pregnant.
When it comes to absolutely. But when it comes to organizing dinners and hang out in New York or at the show, this guy over here, you just give him the word and it's just gonna make it happen. So,
well, he already looks like a secretary. I expected no less.
Speaking of looks, Marco, are you noticing anything about our looks?
Oh, you have like the same shirt on. I thought it was like nothing worth mentioning because you guys are kind of retarded anyway.
Actually, it was my idea because it's something that we do sometimes. We have a lot of matching clothes. Every time we go to a show, we buy something together. We also have matching tattoos. This is the next level.
Do you also have the same wife?
No, that we don't share. No.
Okay. I was just curious.
Oh man.
But I was wondering because the game was the joke was every time we would have matching clothes during recordings, and before Eric was the third guy in the show, and he was always like, "The fuck are you doing, you dum-dums?" Like matching clothes. He was disgusted by us.
Keep the matching clothes. It's fine, but like, do me a favor, change your fucking thumbnail game on YouTube. I can't tell any show apart from the other. I don't know who gave you the idea to like make everything look the same. It's absolutely impossible to find anything on your channel.
Oh shit!
Because it's the same color.
It's all the same color. Everybody looks the same. Everybody has a fucking beard. Like beard and short hair, and then some random name slapped on the thing. Like no, you gotta like improve that part. Otherwise, the algorithm's going to ignore you. Like I can't even like when I get suggestions from YouTube to listen to one of your podcasts. Like I don't even notice the thumbnail anymore. Like I scroll through and I scroll through like 6 times, and then on the 7th time, it's like oh shit, that's the guys from INKPULP. Like it's absolutely impossible to notice. Just a suggestion.
Noted. Yeah, noted. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
Maybe we should stop inviting only bearded people on the show. Probably that could be a nice idea.
Start. It's a start.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it takes, but like you got to break up that game. Like it like looks like it's just one unending episode of the same guy talking.
And then we're both dumb, so we say the same stupid shit.
Yeah,
It literally looks the same guy keeps talking.
Yeah, we should talk about that. We should talk about that. I'm curious. Like, so what would you suggest, like, to make the thumbnail of?
I mean, it just needs to stand out in a different way, and I do think color is definitely a good way to go. But like, if everybody is colored in the same tonality, like it all washes out. It all becomes just like one blur, and then all the thumbnails look the same, which makes it very hard to know when a new show is on.
You're right. Now that you made me think about it, you're right.
Yeah. So it's just a suggestion.
Royalty.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But that's what I'm here for. You bring me on to get insulted and humiliated in front of your audience, and then like, you get the views, and then like you go back home, and then you're like all happy together.
But Matteo had this. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Shawn. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Matteo texted me at 4 a.m. this morning, so excited, like, I have a great idea. Here's what we can do to annoy Marco. We'll wear the same shirt. And Marco's like, sure, it's fine. All right, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say another question that's related. It's not even a question, but it's still related to looks. So I have a speculation to make about your journey to the States.
And that is what?
So I think that part of the trip was business for 6 More Vodka and trying to, find connections and blah, blah, blah. And the other part of the trip, I think that you read the comments on your episode, on the previous episode, and a lot of people noticed that you have a couple of resemblances with Javier Bardem and Negan from Walking Dead. So I think that got in your head a little bit. So I think you stop by in Hollywood and see if somebody could hire you. All right? Am I right? I can see the shirt now, even your looks now, the shirt, the hair is, more well done now. I think something happened in there. Am I right?
I have to admit, you're completely right about this. Like, I was always dreaming about being Javier Bardem's buddy double. I just had it in me. Like, that was like the thing I was looking forward to the most. Like, finally somebody will see me there, pick me up from the street, carry me home, feed me, give me money, let me do whatever I want.
You know what, Matteo? I just realized the guy who's always like, we have a guy who comments on every episode, Marco, and he puts a timestamp on when the real art talk begins. Not our shenanigans. So this episode, it's going to be so much back and forth. He's not going to know what to do.
I don't know if we're going to get to the art talk. I mean, like at this point, we can just continue with all the lookalikes, all the impressions that I can make.
Yeah, because normally what he says, like, they start talking about comics at 15 minutes, 0.75. Now it's going to be, they start talking about comics at 5 minutes, 0.6. Then they stop talking about comics at 8 minutes, 0.3. And then they start back talking about comics at 15 minutes.
How much of your audience do you think is actually interested in comics and not seeing you guys just fuck around?
I think it's a 50-50. I think there's a lot of people who are genuinely just interested in hearing about comics.
Yeah, still? Is that still a thing? Like, I have not been in the industry for so long. I just don't know. So much has changed in the last 10, 11, 12 years.
So there's a big movement towards self-publishing and independent comics. And all of our shows on INKPULP are very focused in that arena. So a lot of people are coming to learn about those things. And like Matteo doing his own book, me building things to do my book, Jim doing his book. So we are talking about the industry all the time, the downside of what's going on in publishing, the upside of self-publishing. So I think that's a big part of the show, is this future
But what I'm
wave.
interested in, I mean, like the comic book itself has not changed in the last 100 years or what? Like it's still
the medium.
22 pages. But like how interested are people still in that representation of the medium itself?
Yeah, it's one of those things that I don't know why, but despite, as you said, comic books haven't changed, and they're not comic books in the 90s where they're you know, in terms of popularity. There's still a lot of people that are interested in being, at least they have the dream of being a comic book artist somehow. And I saw that in Italy when I mentioned this plenty of times, but we have like 10 schools of comic books, and there's attendees every time. So there's people still paying for these courses. So there's still a fascination for people to become a comic book artist somehow. So I think they find I think they're looking for suggestions or, you know, motivation, inspiration, I think, when they see us.
But from your perspective, do you think that there's more supply than there is demand at the moment? Like I like, that's what I wonder, because like you just mentioned 10 schools in Italy. Like I'm just curious, like how many of these people that actually attend these schools
It's a good question.
end up having a sustainable career afterwards, you know? Like
not a lot. Yeah, not a lot. At the end, I remember when I was a teacher in one of these schools, I remember that out of a class, I could spot over the first few lessons, okay, these 2 out of 20 are gonna probably make it, you know? But despite that, it's not related to the success rate. It's just a fascination, especially when you're younger, probably, towards this medium that still exists. That's why I think that although the industry is not going up, it's never gonna die. I think there's always gonna be somebody who's kind of you know, in love with this medium.
There's another side to this. If we're talking about the audience, when you say the industry, you're talking about the like mainstream direct market comic book industry, the Marvel DC driven industry. There is 2 other industries that are, if we look at comics as a whole, which is beyond that part of the whole industry, you have to include book publishing and graphic novels. Like in the book market, comics are doing incredible numbers. There's an author, a comic book graphic novelist named Raina Telgemeier, who writes coming of age stories about like personal autobiographical coming of age stories of her as a young girl. And young girls across the United States flock to her books. They're doing incredible numbers. And a book like Bone, like those 2 books alone make the Marvel DC industry look this big because of the sales. And then beyond that, there's the webtoon market, which is comics for the web only, and that's even bigger. So there is a readership out there. It's about connecting with them.
And another factor, I think. Sorry, were you
go ahead.
done?
No,
Shawn?
go ahead.
Okay, I want to add a little something that we already mentioned before, but also if you think about the '90s, and especially you, Marco, who grew up, you know, in Europe and not in the States, like the comic book artists, all you saw about them was their art. And then maybe sometimes a small picture at the end of the book as like, you know, Todd McFarlane was born in blah, 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 in the city and in Toronto. And that's all you knew about them. Right. So their personality, they like Todd McFarlane, I found out how he looked like, I don't know, when I was like, I don't know, 30, 35. I didn't even look up when not earlier, probably because of the internet, I could finally see some pictures. But before that, I didn't even know how it looked like. So for years, the comic book artist figure has always been this mysterious figure that just drew comics. So I think that the podcast give us the opportunity of showing our personality behind the
Mm-hmm.
books as well.
Mm-hmm.
But why would
Which,
that
I mean,
care? Like, why would that matter? Like, well, like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm just going to ask a very
No,
stupid
it's
devil's
a good
advocate
question. It's a good question.
no,
I
no,
think
no.
it-
It's
I
absolutely
think
a
it
smart question.
matters. I think the current audience is very interested in supporting independent creators and in their works, and you
Yeah.
earn that like relationship with them by giving them stuff that allows them to get to know you, and then their support of you like really cements. So, and I
So
know this.
it's collecting personality brownie points basically to make you more palatable for a broader audience. Is
Yeah.
that? I mean, I'm going to sound like a real dick right now, but like that's exactly what we're doing, right? We're just like trying to be like very interesting people so we can sell them more books. So
Sure.
we're all evil. We're evil corporate bastards.
Yeah, on an independent level.
I don't know. To be honest with you, to me, that's and I'm trying. I'm trying to be as honest as I can. To me, like anything else, it's that's a happy consequence. Like I started doing the podcast with Shawn and Eric. They invited me, but before it was just Shawn and Eric, and then they did an episode with me, and we were already really good friends. So we, the podcast was great. I had fun, and they asked me, "Hey, do you want to do it again? You want to be a part of the show forever?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not? It's fun." I get to see my friends now, especially now that I have a family. I can't fly to the States a lot like I used to, so it's an occasion to me to catch up with my friends.
Right.
So I to me, it's just I'm having fun,
and
then
that's
I see
honestly,
the other side of it. That it's,
right.
When I promote something, I can have a more efficient, following that will sustain me no matter what. Even if I don't draw Spider-Man or Batman, they will support me no matter what because they like me as a person. But I think of it more as a happy consequence more than a.
But you understand that my comment was cynical on purpose. Like I just wanted
no, absolutely. No, absolutely. No. I understand it, and there's some truth behind it. Like I totally understand it. It's not my the point where I start doing it, but it could be something. But at the same time, as we said that many times, like there's some people that work in the industry that they should never go in public. Like it's a good thing that they just stay at home and just do what they're good at.
Give me names.
But Eric Canete, for example, is one.
Oh my God, that poor guy! I can't believe that. Wow.
I mean, he looks bad. He has a bad personality. I mean,
Matteo,
stay at home and do your drawing at home.
Matteo, we have to. What would happen if we got Marko back again and we got Eric on? How incredible would that be?
Well, in this case, the evil forces and the good forces will compensate. And we have, the moment in cartoons when they had the two power balls and they're stuck in the middle. They're like this.
I mean, you'd be outclassed. You have matching uniforms. We have matching personalities. Like that would be. You're not a match for us. But let me circle back to another question, like because you mentioned that you were teaching. Like, did both of you teach or just you, Matteo?
No, I was a teacher too. I am.
Let me ask you how you're handling the teaching part, because that's very interesting to me, because I'm just curious if you like teaching.
Want to start, Shawn?
Sure. I love teaching. It's something I didn't know I was good at until I did it. Me as an artist, I'm a very curious, craft, tool driven artist. I always want to like understand like every mark I make. Why did I make that? What does that mean? Why would I choose to do it that way? Why would I use this tool to do it? So I love that journey of collecting information and create, like using all that information to try new things. So when it came to teaching, it was like, oh, I can just pass that forward. And I enjoyed that. What I didn't enjoy was I worked for a school in the States, and me and my friend built their comic book program on the Atlanta campus. and I worked for them for 10 years, but I hated the corporate side of it, and finally left and just did freelance art. And after doing that for a few years, I was like, I miss teaching. I miss, like, it helps me learn, and I have stuff to give. So that's why I started to create my own instructional videos. I just feel like art school is just a ridiculous, the amount of money it costs to go to versus the amount of money you might make coming out. It's just setting you up for failure. So I was like, I want to create very affordable things that people can just buy on my website for $15 and get a lesson. So that's my feelings on teaching. Matteo?
What about you, Matteo?
So my experience, Marco, are you familiar with Camo? Giuseppe Camuncoli?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I love Camo.
So
Camo is one of my oldest Italian friends.
Yeah, absolutely. And so he has a school in Reggio,
I know.
Reggio Emilia, where he lives.
I went there once, like many years ago.
Awesome. So I live in Parma, which is literally 30 minutes drive from Reggio. So that's why he asked me if I wanted at a certain point be a teacher there. So in that case, it's not like a school like the one where Shawn was teaching. So it's basically you have courses like 3 hours or 4 hours, like 3 days a week or something like that. Okay, so it's not an intensive, that you have to go every day and stuff like that. So my role was very specific, and I had to teach inking techniques, and I focused specifically on the brush, which is one of the tools that I love. So for me, first of all, it was really technical. So all I had to do is prepare exercises, like trying to find all the things that could, make you improve in using that and using that tool. And I wanted to try to find exercises that will force you to confront some of the difficulties of using that specific tool. So I tried basically giving them exercises and to do a lot of artists to watch, and then trying to reproduce specific pages from specific books that I found interesting. And then the other goal that I had is they needed an assignment every week. And every time you don't deliver for whatever reason, even if you're sick, that's like half of a point less in your evaluation. No matter what, like if you are doing my course, you have to deliver on time. And that's in my head was, okay, this is the first step to becoming a comic book artist. You have a delivery time, and you got to deliver on time no matter what. If you don't, the only result is that you didn't deliver on time. So your collaborator will think less of you. Putting it simple.
Yeah, so it's basically like a boot camp, right? I mean, essentially, it teaches you to like be a responsible human being and like
absolutely.
Like
This was a side goal of me, a thing that I just decided to apply to my course. It's not necessarily what everybody did. Nobody asked me to do it. And on the other end, a great thing that happened as I was teaching, because my thing, a lot of things that I've always done in when I do comics, I just did it because I would observe other comics that I loved and instinctively put it in my language, without even asking myself most of the times why. I just saw that this looks good. So I just incorporated it in me and just put it on my pages. So teaching, because what happens is that even if I was just teaching inking techniques, a lot of students will then ask me for other stuff because they knew I was already a professional comic book artist. So having to answer those questions forced me to find the reasoning behind a lot of things that I was doing, while before I was just doing it without even noticing why I was doing it. I was just doing it because I read so many comics that it got into me, you know, if that makes sense.
No, it makes complete sense, and you want to share that same level of like learning through observation with other people, and you want to share your own understanding of certain tools with other people, so it's more of an instructional way to get to a goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And also what I loved was the idea of, okay, I have this class of 20 people. As I said before, I found that the 2 or 3 that really I think they have right now the mindset to make it. They have enough talent to make it. The idea that after the school, I would see them at shows trying to show their stuff around, even in New York sometimes.
Yeah.
And then 2 years after, they will tabling at the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And 2 years after that, I would see their name in a popular title. That's fucking, to me, it's so great.
Yeah,
because
so you
I saw myself
embrace their success.
Yeah,
that's absolutely, and not because
father.
but not because it reflected on me at all. Not because I did it, because I
wasn't insinuating that. Don't worry.
No, absolutely. It wasn't a response to what you said. I was ready to say it, but especially because I was just teaching them inking techniques for like 15, 20 lessons, and that's it. So I'm just a small part of their journey, but it's just I was just seeing myself in them, and it reminded me all the process that the journey that I had to take in order to become what I have become, and seeing that somebody else is having that journey. And especially for me, I had people that helped me. For example, Eric, I know I talk a lot of shit about him, but he helped me a lot. He's a huge part of my success.
Yeah, me too.
And the idea of me being able to, to see another person flourish that way, it's great. It's a great thing. I love it.
Awesome.
What about
have you
Marko?
never taught to anyone?
Yeah.
No, I used to. I used to for quite some time in my late 20s, early 30s. But like I have taught for a long period of time, and I do think that part of that is just like, as much as you enjoy the success of those who make it, you always have to think about the lack of success of everyone who doesn't. And I just kind of started like feeling really down for a bunch of people that like have great aspirations and want to make it somehow, but at the same time you already know that they're setting themselves up for failure, and like dealing out that truth to people is just it's a harsh way of having to sometimes deliver honesty, and that like stings you after a while. Like I just feel like I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be in that confrontation zone where I have to either lie to somebody to keep their illusion up, or to bring down honesty upon them that they're not prepared to hear. And so I just decided to like step away from that with time.
I understand that. So when I built the comics program at the school I was at, the first class was Intro to Sequential Art. And I built that in a way that was just designed to weed out people. Like I would start the class by saying like this medium in this industry is beyond difficult, not for the unfocused, not for the weak-hearted. Very few of you are going to make it. So it's okay to realize that now and save yourself a lot of money and headaches by going down this path. And this class is designed to show you what it's really going to be like, and to just be like, don't waste your money in here. Like it's a hard truth, but it's better to learn it now than 4 years from now. So
especially for the school.
That is it's great that you did that, but like how many of those people are actually capable of self-reflecting enough and knowing what they're signing up for?
The class, the way I designed the class was so hard and so intense that they would fail if they didn't make the decision on their own. They wouldn't be able to proceed past that class because there's a prerequisite for everything else.
Yeah.
So if they didn't have the self-realization, the reality would hit them. So that was that. But I agree with you that it's a hard way to be. And when I look back at my years teaching, it's the one thing I really I don't look back fondly upon was the intensity of which I had to be as a teacher because the reality of this medium, this industry. So now it's just like, hey, if you want to learn a little bit more about inking, you can just go buy a video. It's not, I'm not saying you're going to be a pro comic artist, but hey, you want to learn a little bit more about inking? Here you go. And it's up to you.
But I do think that goes back to like the original statement that I made. Like I do think that like people wanting to work in entertainment have a wrong conception of what it actually means to be in entertainment. It's not entertainment at all. It's a hard road for anybody that wants to make it, and the sacrifices along the way that you need to make to really get to the top are sometimes far outweighing the benefits. And if you're not one of the fortunate few that actually, makes it through a class or has a good, career trajectory, you're just going to end up on the sidelines. And that, like, I've seen that over the years, because like the applications at our office are consistently rising year after year. We're now sitting, for example, just on for the last year on almost 4,000 new applications for a position here.
Shit.
And
whoa.
it's just, it's impossible to review. And there's such a huge supply for diminishing demand. And so I'm just wondering, like, what's going to happen with all these people that want to get into entertainment to begin with, and where are they going to end up? And I don't want to be handing out the rejection letters or the pat on the back and be like, oh, well, you made your life choices wrong. I just feel like absolutely terrible about that.
What a great rejection letter. You made your life choices wrong. I subscribe to the belief that someone who really, really wants to make it work and is willing to sacrifice, like you said, and put everything on the line to do it, they will find a way. And
I disagree. I've seen 40-year-old fathers dropping their job and like putting a portfolio together that will never get them hired, and they don't have the time to catch up anymore, no matter how much willpower they have.
Yeah.
Like there's like you cannot become an athlete at 40. It's just impossible.
Right.
You waste,
So
like, you've been in the wrong profession all the way.
Right. I'm coming from the assumption that if you are young and want to do this, then you're never going to end up on that path that took you away from it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, of course. I mean, young people are sponges still. If somebody comes in with a modicum of talent and the right attitude at the age of 17, 18, he has the world in his palm. But like I'm really talking about like the large spectrum of people that are trying to get into entertainment, and how attractive it is to like an older generation that is already past the due date, and wants to still break in. And you're like, really? I mean, like, at what point are you going to realize that this is not going to work out? Like, how many failures are you setting yourself up to have? And
that's a good point.
It's a rough track of life ahead of you.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to tell someone.
I was thinking also, like, since we're talking about schools, also the school where Shawn was teaching, which is SCAD in Atlanta, that costs an arm and a leg.
Much money.
Yeah,
I think like 70K a year or something around that.
Well, it's at least that now. Yes.
Yeah. So I guess maybe, and this is just a question that I'm asking, like, I guess maybe the people that attended, unless they're rich, their family's super fucking rich and they shit money. Yeah. Probably they're more motivated to make it.
I'll tell you,
is that a possibility? Or
it's a good observation, Matteo, because having taught there, the majority of the school were kids who were never going to have a career in art that came from wealthy families. And the majority of the kids in the comics major that were never going to make it were children of wealthy families who had no direction in life, and their parents saw them playing video games all the time. It was like, go do this. Will, it's, and so that didn't work. But the students that I had that were going to make it, they were the ones that were financially struggling, were there on scholarships, had jobs outside of the school. They didn't come from money, but they had the talent and the drive to make it. And that's also why I was like, this system of art school is just capitalizing on people who are wasting their lives and families who have money and raping young, talented artists who don't come from money. So I was like, there's got to be a better way. And that's what led me to explore other ways of helping give information.
Yeah. In my case, like the school that I was teaching at, Camo School, back then when I teach there, I think it wasn't that expensive. It was like, I don't know, 2,500 euros, something that, any family, unless you're really poor, any family could basically afford, because it's the money that you would spend if you send your kid to a university, like a public university.
Yeah.
So instead of sending them there, you just send them to this other school. So that for sure, it wasn't, that's a factor for me. And also the fact that I wasn't like the comic book teacher. I was just teaching a part of the thing. So I didn't have to crush anyone's dream at the end. Like, they will continue with their course with other subjects, So I had to make my evaluation, but I didn't have to put a mark on, he's going to make it and he's not going to make it. I would just give a vote. And now that I know that you both like teaching, when can I hire you as my private teacher so I can finally get good? I mean, I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Like, I just wanted to figure out if you're the right guys first. Like that's why I've been probing you with questions all day.
Matteo and I can bring you down. We can definitely bring your talent level down. We're good at that.
And we'll make you gay at the end of the course.
Well, you don't need to try hard.
So, also, another thing that I was thinking about the school is that in my case, aside from the night, there are 3 shifts, 3 classes. So one at night, I had older people attending, but in the morning and the afternoon, it was just people that just got out of high school. Yeah. So they were really young and, they just loved comics. And they had this vision, this,
and this story ends with Matteo in prison, right?
No. of just doing comics. It's just, it's that thing when you're young, you don't see all the stuff behind the comic
Matteo,
book. So
I gotta ask you, because you're talking about how affordable like this comic book school is. How much of that versus like what they charge here? I feel like in Italy they revere the arts. It's still kind of sacred culturally to Italy, whereas in the States they just don't give a fuck. Culturally,
do you think so? No,
I'm not saying everyone. I'm saying
I don't think they revere art so much in Italy. Maybe the only place I would say it's a little bit more revered, maybe in France, maybe.
Yeah, okay. France has always been a great market for art. I mean, like I'm talking as a publisher of my own previous creator-owned stuff, and France was always the best market for us. It was the most appreciative because they loved the artistic reproduction of what we were doing, and so like I always had a good connection with France. And America itself loves art. Like they're all about entertainment. I mean, it's an entertainment culture. If you want a country that has no idea about art, go to Germany, man. Like you're not going to find a single person that is interested in art in any type of capacity. They'll look at you as if you're kind of like a little bit retarded.
We established on the first episode we are.
Don't put your money on comic books in Germany at all. Like I would stay away from that. But like Italy, of course, as well. But I do not think that the States are like not interested in artists or in art in general.
It's funny you say that because our friend Alex he's a German artist working in comics, and
Alex who?
He said.
Alexander Lozano.
Ah, yeah, I know him.
Yeah, so when we do conventions together, it's like really nice for him because he gets to hang out with artists, and he says he doesn't have that much in Germany. And
Yeah,
I was
there's
always
no
like,
community in there.
No. There's barely anyone. There's Nick Klein here, and that's pretty much it. I think it's the like me, Nick, Alexander. It's I wouldn't be able to say another name off the top of my head.
But yeah, again, I think it in like the thing that I was saying before is just to say that the reason why I left teaching was not because it would crush me to tell someone that they were not good enough or anything.
Yeah.
I was just it was just for reasons of time available that I didn't have anymore. Like I didn't have time for it anymore.
Were you working in comics when you were teaching? Were you working?
Yeah. I was traveling. Like sometimes, one thing I remember because I had class on Tuesdays. So after class, I went to the train station, took a train to Milan, took a flight to Chicago, then flew back on Monday on Sunday. I don't remember which day. Then flew back and then went teaching at school that morning when I arrived. Then did my lessons during the day. Then took another train to Milan, took another flight, then went to Seattle, and then went back after the show and teach again. Did the same thing twice. So basically,
Shawn, this was a really stupid question. We already established how fast Matteo is. Like, he's the fastest.
That's true.
Don't you know? I mean, he probably drew 3 comics on the plane.
Exactly.
I was actually doing two series, 2 monthly books back then. So
I remember that. So wait,
but at a certain point, I was like, I can't have this kind of lifestyle anymore. Like my brain was
that's pretty much happened to me. I ended up with like panic disorder from trying to do both things.
So that's why I dropped the school, because I had to basically. But again, I loved, if I had the time, I would love to still teach. And I remember, even for people that couldn't, I could see that they wouldn't make it, but I could see there was a genuine interest for the medium. I would try, I would still try to, I don't know, see what their style was somehow, and find a lot of books and authors that could kind of match that style and just give them books. So I found a way to make the whole process interesting for them, even if they're not. And at the end, they managed to do something decent at the end of the course. So,
is this what you guys set your Patreon up for? Is this what you're doing over there? Like, are you selling more stuff over there?
No,
or what's the idea behind that?
The Patreon is we're gonna end the episode soon here, and then we're gonna do another 30 minutes. So the Patreon is for the podcast. Basically, you get a bonus episode, you get early releases, and we designed it because we pay our editor every month for all the editing services, and on YouTube, you make some money, not a ton, but we were all trying to get our show to a point where it wasn't costing us money to do it, where the show would generate enough income to pay Jamie, our editor. So we're like, let's try a Patreon on top of it.
So we're basically using you to make money out of our podcast.
I don't think anybody needs me. This might be the wrong horse to bet on. All they want to do is see Javier Bardem. Like they signed up for him and they got Marko Djurdjevic. Like, this is bullshit.
So, Marko, since we're talking about money and shit, in the previous episode with you, we talked a lot about Orkin. Is there any news on that side? Like any, juicy news?
So everything is fresh at the moment. Like we just spent 2 weeks in LA and San Francisco, and we pitched to many of the major film and video game companies there. I can't say anything now because this is an ongoing development. But like, as soon as we have something that is more concrete, I'm going to holler at you, and then we can celebrate together. But stuff is moving, and I can say for a fact that all the responses to the IP so far have been extremely positive. So we've been actually surprised
That's great.
by how open people were to the discussion of taking this further, and how they responded to the material that we showed them. And I do think something very positive is going to come out of this in the next couple of weeks or months. So I'm very grateful for that. And that was a very, very amazing experience, because we had like a full schedule packed up with like 3 meetings per day, trying to, run from one space to the next, and press the reset button every time, and like do the same pitch over and over again. But like it felt good, and I'm still a little bit exhausted from it, but like it's that one, like I needed that one real hardcore push to get this thing in front of people, and people who can make decisions and see what their early feelings are. And now I'm gonna start following up on some of these conversations and see where it can take us.
That's great.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
and how about your Kickstarter?
I mean,
do you
of
have
course,
a launch date?
No, with all of the stuff that is happening right now, we had to delay the rollout. Like, it's just too many variables that I can't.
Yeah.
That I can't mathematically, put into a proper timeline. And so I need to wait for some of these things to pan out in a positive or negative manner before I can make decisions on the Kickstarter side. So this is where we are, but that doesn't stop the project. I'm still working on it. I'm now on the 6th book. I'm going to be finishing that within the next, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 months, and have that ready for print. And then I'll see where the stuff takes me, because we have a backlog of material that I haven't even touched. So for me, the IP itself and the whole world building behind it can go on for another 2-3 years. I have enough stories to tell and enough manuscripts lying around that I just want to keep on exploring. But for now, we had enough to do a really good presentation. So that was what I really wanted. I wanted to go with a full package, something that is exciting for people to look at, ton of material to leave behind, and now it's waiting for the next steps.
That's awesome. Well, anyways, for people that haven't done so yet, the launch page for the campaign is still active. So
of course, people can still sign up. It's just a matter of when are we going online? How much are we going online with? What can we reveal up to that point? And it's more or less just a waiting game at this point. So I'll just keep on crunching through it and try to get as much done and out of the way as I can. So the more we can actually showcase, the better it's going to be.
Awesome. Well, please.
A question that I forgot to ask you the last time. How long does it take you to do a book, not comic book, like one of the Orkin books?
I think you got this one, right? I sent you this one.
That one we have. Yeah.
That one took 19 days approximately.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about fast.
Yeah, talk about fast.
I do write pretty fast. I usually get through a good 15 to 20 pages in one sitting. And then what I do is I just get hammered, and I just keep on writing and writing and writing until.
But you write really big. The font is really big. So.
No, I do the old trick, write drunk and edit sober. So you write without interruptions, and then you sleep over it. You come in the next day, you edit the pages, and then it's all.
That works.
And I usually the way why I like this method is that by the time I go out of the office, I'm so fucking pissed drunk that I don't remember anything that I wrote the next day. And then when I get to the office the next day and start reading the stuff,
every day.
It's a total surprise. And I'm so many times I have a feeling, oh wow, how did I come up with this? And I was sitting there surprised by myself. And then the editing is rather easy, and you just put it into a nice format.
I like that idea.
But I do appreciate
editing sober. Yeah. That's a great method.
This is the problem. You can't do that when you're drawing, because drawing is all about precision and being focused. And I can't touch alcohol when I'm drawing, but when I'm writing, it doesn't even fucking matter. I'll just keep hitting the keyboard and hopefully something good will come out of it. And then when something good comes out of it, I'm even more happy.
You'll see it the next day.
Yeah, exactly. But that's my usual approach.
Awesome. So everyone, please
Awesome.
go. We'll put the link in the description.
Oh, you guys are sweet. Thanks for promoting this.
Kickstarter. Always happy to do it.
Yeah, no, I'm just sorry that we got to talk about your stuff by the end of the show.
Come on.
I mean, basically,
bro, like once it's out, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to send you all the final books, and then you can come in and be my judge and tell me how much I fucked up.
Awesome.
And, you know,
sounds like a plan. Because
we'll do a proper INKPULP review.
Yeah, we start normally with 5 viewers, but the ones who make it by the end are just 2. So, you lose promotional ratio,
But here's the thing. I wasn't expecting anything from this anyway. So,
that's smart. That's a smart way to be.
three old dudes discussing their failed careers. So it's like, that's just the way it goes every time, right?
Exactly. So, everyone, please, my Kickstarter is live. I think when this comes out, it'll be live by then. The pre-launch is up right now as we're talking, but the link is there. Go get my new art book on my Kickstarter. And Marko, if you didn't regret coming back yet, you're about
I will
to.
Now.
Yes.
Because Matteo's going to scream. I know.
Yes.
I'm pulling my dick out.
I'm prepared.
But after that, we're going to do another 30. We have questions to go over. Okay.
Yeah. So please, people, subscribe to Patreon and to our Discord channel. I mean, Patreon is not for free, but the Discord channel is. And by the way, thanks again for introducing us to Discord, Marko. We're having a lot of fun.
Marko's a big reason.
Thanks for coming. And joining our community as well. Like I do think it's a very special thing for you guys to do. I'm very happy about that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Send me a link of yours so I can drop by as well.
Okay, definitely.
Awesome.
We'll definitely do that. Yeah,
that's great. Thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Yeah.
All right, Matteo.
I'll do a short one again in honor of Marko. I'll just do a short one.
That's sweet. That's sweet. He said short. What happened?
The INKPULP Podcast.
Man, concerned about the state of the art form, the state of the craft.
Jim, what's up, brother? Look, don't worry. I've hired Dr. Pulpenstein, and he's going to fix everything.
Dr. Pulpenstein?
Hello there, Jim. I am hard at work at the antidote of what ails our craft. I've given Shawn the first dose.
First dose? Can you explain?
That's right, Jim. I got the first dose. I'm giving away my brand new sketchbook for free.
Free? Are you crazy?
Si, senor. It is correct. The first dose is Shawn's free sketchbook.
We're doing like a Spanish thing now, I guess.
That's right. My new sketchbook, INKPULP Magenta, is totally free. All you gotta do is head over to my Kickstarter pre-launch page, which is for my new art book, INKPULP Cyan. Enter your email, pledge at any tier level on the INKPULP Cyan campaign, and you will get INKPULP Magenta, the sketchbook, free PDF emailed to you.
Man, that is great, Shawn.
See ya, Jim. Shawn's newest sketchbook is totally free.
Okay, this is Italian now? Is that what's happening?